So, a massive round of applause for each of them as they come here to pitch for 10 grand. Alexandru, are you here? Round of applause, please. Would you like this or that?
I think this. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexandru Solka. So, but where is the...
You might want this as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Professional.
Okay, cool. So we are a tech startup in the fashion world. We are called Everessence, and we are revitalizing the in-store fashion shopping experience through a new customer journey powered by AI. The problem that we see in fashion stores is that they are not taking advantage of the customer's data. They are not cultivating the customer's data. For example, there are no other basic memberships which only tell you what the customer has bought, but it doesn't tell you what the customer is wearing in the store. It doesn't tell you their style. And also it doesn't tell you how much time a customer spent in the shop on what items and what was the decision-making process behind every purchase. But also, the in-store experience can have a bit of a problems too. So you can experience long queues, you can experience physical limitations with how many items you try on. For example, I think maximum 5. But also, you can have a sense of chaos at the fitting rooms. Our solution is a streamlined customer journey powered by AI. So the system, when you enter the store till you leave the store, tracks you and tracks your movement in the store. I know it sounds a bit futuristic, but we do that to enable businesses to know more about their customers and to know their behaviors. But also, this system is connected to an interactive front end, which is a life-size item configurator. So you step into the store, and we recreate you virtually, your body, your ratio, your face, in a high manner. And also, this helps us create accurate customer profiles for each customer. So every time that you go into that store, maybe let's say for next month, we'll be able to generate new data for your visit. Now I'm going to show you a demo of our MVP. So you step in front of the screen. Now we're going to scan your face. So you rotate slowly. And after this, we're going to recreate your virtual self. It's a high-fidelity virtual self, and it's done in 30 seconds. Now we're going to see an item of the collection. And then you are able to choose the first item that you want to try on your own body. So after selecting, you can actually move and interact live with your virtual self. But then when you step in front of the screen, you can actually go around 360 to see your own body from different angles and the clothes that you are wearing. But also with the right hand, you can go through multiple choices, which is a quite cool feature. So the value proposition that we have is that we have positive social impact. By design, Everessence promotes body positivity and inclusivity. We want everyone to be their own fashion model. We want everyone to not relate to unhealthy body sizes and, quite frankly, unrealistic body sizes. But also, we give strategic advantages to businesses to understand their customers' behavior and to actually improve the experience in the store. Our traction is that we are launching a version of Everessence in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, next year, launching in February. Our projected revenue for one Everessence hub is for a 12-month contract is around £30,000 with an initial cost of £6,000. So we are providing a full service from hardware to maintenance. We are creating the digital replicas of the clothing items. But this gives us a possibility to profit because we have a recurring revenue every time that a new collection comes out, which is a big win on the financial side. With the venture sale price, we are planning to accelerate our development process to cover some operational costs and extend our runway. The team is made up by me as a co-founder and my brother Renato, which unfortunately he's not here. And he is also the lead engineer, and we have two advisors, Felipe Ho and Toto Eremia. Felipe has led Samsara into IPO in December 2021, and now is listed at the New York Stock Exchange. And also Toto Eremia is a self-made entrepreneur in the fashion world. Now we want to thank you, and we want to thank Venture First South for bringing us here, and we want you to be part of our mission. Thank you.
Thank you. I need the mic as well. Thank you for kicking us off. Hannah, if you can take the mic over to the guys there. We're going to go to the judges for a first question. Don't disappear yet, my friend. There's going to be a question. Come back up. Now that's confident. Okay, stick with me, stick with me. So our judges, we've just heard a pitch there about a new way to basically democratize the way that you try on clothing and the way it's promoted to you within the retail space. Potential for retail outlets to encourage people back, potentially as well. But what did the judges think, and have we got a question? Helen, are you going for that?
Yeah. Our main question is, do you have a competitor? So is anyone else doing what you're doing at the moment?
So our competitor right now is a bit on a lower tech side. So now, for example, H&M does a thing. There is a screen in the store, but you can only select the items that you want, and you click, and a person brings it to you, which is quite not useful. You can just select it yourself. So that's the only competitor. But also there is something in China which is a bit more, it's an augmented reality on your body. So it's like a video feed, and then they place the clothes on you, but it looks a bit jarry as AR looks like. So that's our main competition. But on the customer profiling, we don't have a competitor right now. So there is no, from my perspective, there is no company that tracks the customer's behavior in the store for each individual person.
And just as the cricketers go past me, reminding us where we are slightly there, do we have a question from the audience? We can take one from the audience if someone wants to be brave and stick a hand up. We've got Mitch over there, who's a fellow lover of all things augmented and screen-based, winner of last year's open mic competition, actually. Mitch.
Hello. So obviously people mostly try on clothes to see if it fits their body. Now, does your system scan and generate a model of the unique proportions of the person's body? And do you simulate cloth falling onto the body to fit the form?
Yeah, so every time that a new customer comes in front of the screen, we take their height, we take their ratio, but also their body size and body features. So, and then after this, we have programmed and already simulated each item for each body size. So yeah, we do that.
Excellent. Thank you very much for our first picture. Another round of applause as we... Okay, next up, I've made a mistake, it's here. Kevin Clark from KCC Packaging, come on up. Round of applause, please, guys.
Which one? Which mic do you want? Oh, I see. I'll speak into the mic.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Pleased to be here today and representing our product, which is a compostable ready meal tray intended to replace plastic ready meal trays. So we had a course the other day to get through things. It took about 90 minutes to condense into 5, so I'll have to zoom along. So the concept is, it's an elevator pitch, so very swiftly we're looking to raise just over £750,000 to take our business from where it is now, which is projected to be about £1.5 million by the end of next year, to about £5.5 million in 2 years' time. Our product, which is based on a sugarcane product, is coated in Eastleigh so that it works with the retailer's requirements. It's taken 15 years in R&D. We've just achieved orders, I'm very pleased to say, after a long delay of £500,000 with a new vegan brand launching in January, which we're delighted about. And we've calculated that if we were to get, for example, 10% of the ready meal market, that would have a value of about 30 million. So there's plenty of scope. So our model is basically that we're increasing our capacity in the factory. We're doing that through long-held networking with the industry. We're well known by the supermarkets and the food companies. We're also dealing with other packaging companies. And that's creating a lot of interest. As I just explained, we've got some plans for new production lines to lift the capacity up. So our traction so far is we have in the last couple of years been exporting to a well-known airline caterer in Dubai. We've recently achieved some business which we never expected to in the upmarket working dog food business, which is fantastic. And that's led to 2 other big inquiries from that sector. And we've just secured some business with a new vegan brand called Chicken, which is going big in January. So our product is aimed squarely at the ready meal market, which the UK uses about 2 billion a year. As I said before, about 10% of that, which is 200 million trays, which is very achievable, is worth about £30 million. There's no reason, by the way, that we don't go further than that. So our competitors are big companies like Huhtamaki, which is an international Finnish-based business with some local manufacturing in this area, and Stora Enso, which is a Swedish pulp-based business that is also like Huhtamaki, tending to use wood pulp, which we don't, which means cutting down trees, and lining it with plastic. Our product is subtly different. We have a small team headed up by myself with a lot of industry experience. I'm sure time is short, so I won't spend too much time on that, but can answer questions if needed. We're just showing the last couple of years of sales, which have been slow to take off thanks to the pandemic and also the Ukraine war, which has caused some hesitancy. We have just recently booked some orders for this year, but the biggest orders so far coming in for next year's, which are now signed. And the customer, by the way, is very serious because they've paid deposits. And we think that will project through to 24 with what we have now, about 2.5 million, and with the investment that we're looking to make, we will get to about 5.5, 6 million by 25, 26. So what we're looking for is your help, all those lovely investors out there, which I'm told they'll be here today, to triple output and really make a difference in reducing the waste problem that goes with food waste and contaminated plastic trays, which we can get around by using our product. Our exit strategy for those that are interested in investing would be that within 6 to 7 years we'll be looking to float or sell the business. We've already had some initial approaches, but the time is not right. And we just need your help and understanding to fuel the change away from plastics. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A great innovation, sustainable in its nature, and potential to make a huge change if that's how many trays just we're eating day to day or year to year here. So, judges, have we got a question for our... Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. My question is, what will you do with the 10,000 prize?
There's no shortage of things to improve in the factory to speed things up. One of the things that we're particularly interested in is being able to provide customization for takeaway businesses. So on the side of the tray, we could actually print their name, and that would take all of that and a bit more.
Okay, one question from the audience if anyone fancies asking a question. You don't have to, you can sit and drink the free booze and eat the food and just, it's fine. Hannah, you going to ask one? Then you're free to go, you lucky person. Round of applause. Next up, we have the team, I'm not going to do all their names, the team from Label It, I believe, so they can come up and tell you their names themselves. Now, obviously you're a crowd pleaser already, so it's yours to...
Okay.
Yeah, I would leave on a high.
Perfect. Awesome. Apologies, there's three of us, so we're going to kind of share the mic. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So I want to start with challenges, okay? Challenges. Challenges to mankind. Putting a man on the moon. Climbing Mount Everest. Getting people excited about a pitch about food labelling. But all of those things are difficult, but they're achievable, and we'll prove the third today. Help us out here, and I'd like you to, in the 5 minutes of this presentation, I'd like you to consider that you're a restaurant owner. And at the end of this pitch, I'm going to ask you a question. Would you want Label It in your kitchen? To introduce myself, I'm Sean Larson.
I'm Reece Wilkes. And I'm Carl Wilkes. And we're the co-founding team at Label It. Thank you very much. So Label It is an all-in-one commercial kitchen label printer, but it's so much more than just a printer. We help to reduce food waste, improve efficiency, and significantly reduce the risk of allergen incidents within kitchens. So we offer Label It as a hybrid hardware and SaaS solution at £29 a month or £290 for the year.
Perfect. And to demonstrate Label It, we're going to have a quick race here. So Reece is going to be handwriting labels, so this is what happens in current kitchens, and Carl's going to be using the Label It device. So for those of you that aren't used to or haven't got experience in hospitality, sorry to ruin the dream that all of your food is freshly prepared by a chef, like on demand. In reality, all commercial kitchens in restaurants and hotels alike use tubs such as these, and that you see on the screen just there. This is in order to speed things up and just to operate efficiently within the kitchen.
So it's absolutely essential and a requirement by environmental health legislation that these tubs are appropriately labelled. The issue here is that even a mid-sized pub might churn through 150 labels per day. When you have that amount of labels being handwritten each day, it becomes a statistical inevitability that one of these labels will be incorrectly written, and unfortunately this can have fatal consequences with regards to allergens. So what's our innovation? So as you can see here, here's an example of some of our printed labels. They can include all the information which is pre-populated with a fully traceable barcoding system.
So if you were to manually handwrite these, then you have to effectively go and look up on something like this, which is like a sensitivity guide. This has got all the allergens on and all the expiry dates. Now, if you're a kitchen staff member, you simply don't have time to keep going back and looking at this list. So what actually happens is that effectively the kitchen staff try and memorize that, and that obviously represents a huge risk. So as you can see, like the label it machine, basically you can print 40 labels in the time that you can write 5 hand labels. So it's about 8 times faster. And not only this, you know that actually all of the information on the label it machine is absolutely accurate because you've pre-templated the allergens, the expiry date is based off today's date, and so there's no risk for human error.
But the exciting thing about Label It is we can do so much more than just labeling. Having hardware in the kitchen with a built-in printer, camera, scanner, and touchscreen interface means we can solve so many more problems. Of course, like any market, we're not without competition, but crucially, they don't offer a portable solution or anywhere near the functionality that Label It offers.
So we've been trading for just over a year, and we're extremely proud of the progress we've made, onboarding some really exciting customers, including large hotel chains and Premiership football clubs. We've currently got nearly 400 devices deployed in the field and have 1,500, and aim to have 1,500 deployed by the end of 2023.
Our customer base is extremely diverse, ranging from hotel chains to climbing centres, from the Highlands all the way to Jersey. The commonality between all of these venues is that they were previously handwriting labels and now recognise the value that the Label It system offers.
Cool. So we're currently just focusing on the UK market, and as you can see, like even with an incredibly humble 5% market share, it still represents a fantastic financial opportunity. Longer term, we are looking towards the US, and effectively, because of the way the US regulation works and the processes in the kitchen, they're very similar to the UK. So all we need to do, like development-wise, is effectively flip the date around so it's the wrong way around, so that we could satisfy US customers.
But linking back to our previous slide about the potential of Label It, we've identified 7 additional modules that we can implement and solve problems way beyond labelling. The first of these will be temperature logging, where we can automate record keeping, notify owners of potential energy savings, and send instant alerts about equipment failure.
So the prize money from this competition would have an immediate and significant impact for us. It would allow us to develop the temperature logging functionality and immediately release this as an additional revenue-generating module.
So the prize money, again, to just reiterate, we don't have very much money, so it'd mean a lot, would really kickstart a chain of events that not only had an impact in the immediate months, but also the coming years to come.
Although we're extremely proud of our contribution to food safety so far, especially with helping businesses stay compliant with the recently introduced Natasha's Law, we do recognise our environmental impact.
And for this reason, we've partnered with Ecology to offset the paper usage, so every label order that's placed, we plant a tree.
Perfect. So then bringing it back to that first question. If you were a restaurant owner and you wanted to reduce food waste, ensure compliance, and improve efficiency, wouldn't you have a Label It in your kitchen? Thank you.
Stuff going on here, guys. Okay, cheerleaders, settle down just because you had a beer. I know they're from your university, so don't try and do that. But what a great idea. So, judges, have we got a question? John,
hi,
pop
Ed.
it on an email.
Good pitch, guys. Nice one. So who's your direct competition at the moment in the market? I mean, you touched on it earlier, but can you expand a bit?
So the actual main competition is pen and paper. That's kind of like what we primarily replace. Or do you want that, or do you want the tech side that you were interested in as well? Okay, tech side. On the tech side, there's a very low penetration on the tech side for our competitors. All of our competitors are fixed location printers, as in you have to plug them in and they live on the side. We actually started off with something like this as our MVP. We put it in the kitchen, and then we let the chefs like play on it, say, tell us what you think about it, and they stopped using it literally after a few days, and they said, I can't be bothered to walk from the fridge over there, back to the printer, back to the fridge, back to the printer, to the freezer over there. Fixed location printers in kitchens don't work. And so we had to swallow our pride and okay, let's spend a bit more of our own money, chuck some more money in, and then we started using the mobile device, and then suddenly the chefs were like, we love this, because we actually take it into the walk-in fridge, we take it into the walk-in freezer. So that's kind of our USP, and that's why we're seeing the uptake that we have to date.
Sorry, I was just printing a label for a chocolate mousse. Even I can use it, so there's a good advert. Is there a question from the audience, which not from their university? Mitch, you've had one. I'm going to go to our friend from the business magazine. You're going to have to run like Challenge Annika all the way over there. Quick. Well done.
Yeah, just a really quick one. Obviously, the thing about devices in kitchens is kitchens are like their food safety is super hot. So what I'm wondering is how rugged is your device? Can it break? And are there any parts that can come loose and get stuck in food?
That's a good question. So the device is designed for hospitality, so it's the same hardware that Deliveroo actually use. So they obviously live in kitchens already for receipt printing. So yeah, they're drop tested. They don't like water very much, but they're relatively inexpensive. So it's basically a rental model. So when they're damaged, people pay in excess, and then we replace the hardware. So obviously much more sanitary than having phones in the kitchen as well, which is an alternative printing solution. So.
Great. Big round of applause, please, for these guys. Right, we're close, guys, to the point where you can all talk again-ish, but we've got two more, and I want to welcome up now Gil Satchell from PowerQuad to the stage. So give him a round of applause for the last penultimate pitch. Gil, hello. Here is a microphone.
Thanks.
Here is this. Good luck.
So hi, I'm Gil Satchell. I'm co-founder of PowerQuad. And PowerQuad have developed a clean, silent battery alternative to noisy, polluting diesel generators. Typically, we are working with the outdoor events market, but we're also looking at replacing diesel generators for backup power and construction. We launched into the events market this year, and we've been powering events successfully all year, and now we're really looking to kind of scale up on that. So how bad are generators? It's COP27 at the moment, so you might be thinking, surely the impact from these generators can't be that much, right? Ooh. Well, the answer is they have a really large carbon impact. So if you were to take a professional use generator and look at it against exactly the same size car engine, you get the same amount of carbon, but you would get around 10 times as much NOx and about 100 times as much carbon monoxide. So they're really, really dirty. And typically they're actually near people. And there's also quite a lot of these. So there's around 4 million made a year. A diesel generator has a lifetime of around 5-10 years, so that's a really large potential impact that could come out from them. There's also lots of other problems. They're just too expensive to run. Fuel is going up all the time, and the events that we're working with have told us that they've seen around a 2 to 3 times increase in fuel to do exactly the same thing compared to last year. They're noisy and they're dirty. You need gloves to fill them up. They're actually really hard to manage across site. Typically, they need a lot of cabling, so they take a really long time to set up. And there's no clear alternative for professional use. Nothing's flexible enough to really rival a generator. So what's our solution? Well, it's a modular, scalable battery system. It's modular because you can set up as many units as you want near the power that you need. Normally, you'd have to overrate a generator, which is really, really inefficient. It's smart. You normally have a few of these dotted around site, and with our mobile app, you can see exactly what's going on around the site, and you can manage that. They're also very flexible because you can hot swap the batteries even when they're in use. So that means after you set up, you realize you need a bit more power somewhere else in site, you can move that around and get as much power as you need. And that's really where our IP lies. So we developed the battery management systems and the control systems around that. We have a patent pending for that, and we have another one in development. And that is, I've got slides, I've got their mind of their own. And that's really what keeps us apart from the competition. No one has that IP. So we launched into the events market this year. We've done events with brands, we've done events with councils, public and private events. And that's really our key beachhead market, is the UK event market, where we're looking at 1,000 music festivals, 7,000 major outdoor events, and 100,000 private events. Our business model is based around a hire or buy. So typically we'll be hiring into events producers. But we're also looking at other markets. So first of that is backup power. That tends to be either high-tech labs or server rooms. Mobile catering, where there's 50,000 mobile catering businesses across the UK, as well as construction. So construction is really what we see as our kind of growth market. And there we're looking at powering welfare cabins as well as increasing the air quality. So far this year, we have saved around 1,500 litres of diesel from being burned at events, and that's around 6 tonnes of carbon. So we're already making a really big impact. We've won an Innovate UK award, as well as some others, and we got Startup of the Year a couple of months ago. So if we win, well, one of our really big challenges is just letting those bigger events and those bigger festivals know that there really is an alternative that actually works. So our intention is to subsidize community events across the South. And so by doing that, not only are we kind of bringing those communities together in a really eco-friendly way, we're also showing those bigger events companies, the big festivals, that there really is a way that you can do this sustainably. And we see this as a really big step onto our next round of funding, which we'll be looking at next year. So thank you for listening.
Okay, excellent. Judges, have you got a question?
Out of breath now, Ed?
Yeah, I went too far.
Doing well, mate,
I
doing
went
well.
too far.
Gil, great presentation, thank you. Where are you doing the manufacturing, and as you scale to get into different markets, do you anticipate any challenges in component parts?
Yeah, so we manufacture in the UK as much as possible, and the supply chain issue is actually a really big one. And the way we've adapted that, because we actually design our own circuit boards, is we've designed for multiple components. So what that means is when we come to order, we're not kind of relying on one very important, say, chip manufacturer. We can use a couple, which kind of gets us around some of those really sticky kind of supply chain issues.
Anyone from the audience? Yeah, we've got a question back there from the other skies, the other skies guy.
Hi, yeah, so I work in IT, and therefore I'm aware of UPS systems and server rooms being used all the time, battery systems in that way, lithium-ion. What exactly is the energy capacity of that? Because obviously in server rooms you have usually got the problem that although you have a massive system of battery storage, it can only hold the entire room for about 30 minutes maximum, maybe sometimes 45. So how do you tackle that challenge exactly of energy density there?
Sure, so it comes to modularity. I mean, the types of server rooms we're looking at backing up typically have a 10 kVA generator out the back. And we can do that with a couple of our battery boxes, and we can take that inside. So not only with those generators, you normally have kind of maintenance you've got every month that you have to go and check them, as well as the actual fuel, which needs to be changed every couple of months because you end up getting a clogged up generator. So what we can do is kind of take that inside, no maintenance, nothing to worry about, and work for it that way.
But we've only got one more, so I think we should do a drum roll for this one, just to try and energize ourselves a bit. Can we get a drum roll, please? Portsmouth Distillery. I'll take that now.
I was just going to move this. That's all right. Really annoying.
It's got props, everyone.
I need this to get me through. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Clicker. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ditch Oatley from the Portsmouth Distillery. Firstly, I'd like to say it's fantastic to be part of this final five. We were certainly quite surprised by it, but I assume that people in the local area do like their booze. But also like to say huge congratulations to the team that put together today's event. It's been an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you all enjoyed it. Have you? Excellent stuff. Now, we are an award-winning rum distillery, which also makes award-winning gins. Our key vision is to restore Portsmouth's distilling heritage and also be at the vanguard of rum production in the UK moving forward in years to come. Rum is our absolute passion and the reason that we exist. We are very much disrupting the rum world, being the first distillery ever in this country to be making rum from scratch and aging in a barrel for 3 years and beyond. This here is England's very first ever 3-year-old rum. tastes pretty good as well. So in a year and a half, we're going to be making, we'll be bottling a 5-year-old, then we're going to go 7 and 10 years as well. Now, what stands these rums apart is the way that we make them and what we make them from. We innovate with a unique production process by using dehydrated sugarcane juice, which is part of the sustainable picture, which we'll touch on later, which we boil up to create a syrup. We then ferment that syrup and then distill it twice just to get our unaged white rum. This then goes to sleep in barrels for 3 years and beyond, and we let it do that all on its own, 100 meters from the sea. 100% purity of spirit, vegan, kosher, absolutely no added flavors or sugars, and really importantly, absolutely no chemical interaction whatsoever. The rum is of such a world-class quality that the world's most oldest and revered wine and spirit merchant, Berry Brothers and Rudd, established way back when in 1698, has started to buy barrels off us to put their name on. Now, accolades don't really come much better than that. We're also doing reasonably well in Waitrose and are hoping to extend the estate in 2023. These are really important partnerships for us moving forward. Our 1812 rum has just won Best Rum in the Great British Food Awards 2022, which we're very, very proud of, ladies and gentlemen. We also, at the distillery, utilise our outside space to do comedy nights, corporate events, private parties, and of course our weekly and weekend bespoke tours, which are really, really good fun. Now, of course, at the heart of any successful venture, successful business, is the team. The core leadership team has got a fantastic set of skills which it brings to the table, and also a lot of drinks industry background. Now, we've of course acknowledged that where we've got some failings or gaps in our skill sets, we've hired a marketing consultant and also have got a fantastic web social media manager. With these skills, we think this is our way to drive us forward. The team's done a great job thus far, generating momentum and accomplishing clear milestones. We've absolutely the passion, the drive, the charisma, and the abilities to maximize success moving forward. We have a clear understanding of our customers and their specific needs as the rum category in this country continues to grow, and our products have gained really good sustainable traction within the market. Rum is now being hailed as the new gin. At the end of the day, that's the way we're looking at it. Rum is now sales of 1.2 billion. Our particular artisan part of the market is currently worth 240 million, and it's going to grow 10% year on year. As we are at the vanguard of rum production in the UK, we're well placed to not only take advantage of this growth, but actually lead the growth moving forward. We have future milestones mapped out that represents quite a compelling investment opportunity. We have a mission to grow the business from 375,000 in sales last year to 2.5 million in 3 years' time, raising production from 10,000 bottles to 75,000 bottles. And I think we can certainly achieve that, because we are currently in the middle of a crowdfunding campaign as part of a larger equity investment move to gain £300,000 to be able to realise our vision and growth strategy moving forward. Now, we're honoured, of course we're honoured, to be here amongst some amazing companies, all innovating for a better future. Now, sustainability is very important to us, and we've recently reviewed and updated our sustainability policy, which runs through as much as we possibly can at the distillery with everything that we do. From the ethical sourcing of our botanicals, which actually grow within the fort, but also, more importantly and crucially, the sourcing of dehydrated sugarcane juice, which absolutely ultimately lowers the carbon footprint. But we know that we can do more. Our mission, if we were to be successful today, would be to design and install solar power at the distillery, a sustainable water circulation system, a complete botanical garden on the roof of the fort, and of course look at our packaging at the earliest opportunity. 4.5 years ago, we set out to create world-class rums, and we are delivering. And long after we've fallen off our perches and gone to the great rum god in the sky, we want to leave Portsmouth a legacy, and not just Portsmouth, but beyond, to our great country, that will last for years and years and years to come. Thank you, VentureFest, for listening to us, and thank you for having the opportunity. He's off. He's off.
Questions, judges, one question. Di.
Great pitch, thanks. I love you. I love your gins. So
Lovely, I love you.
very much looking forward to taste the rum. So here's a question: what's your biggest challenge, and what do you think that you're going to do to overcome it, to take this forward?
Well, at the end of the day, that's a very good question, because our biggest challenge to date is not just letting people know that we exist, but it's also the education piece. Because as we used to do our tours at the distillery, most people got an image of what white rum is. You know, it's that stuff they got total and at 15 in the park with their friends, got sick and said they'd never drink Bacardi again. Now, Bacardi is not what we make, I can promise you that. But at the end of the day, what we like to say in the distillery of the tours is just because it's white doesn't mean it's shite. So the biggest challenge is that education piece, genuinely. That is a really good question, is to let everyone know that actually white rum can be really, really fantastic.
Great. One question from the audience, right next to you there, to keep it quick. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
It's 2022. How come we don't have a single female presenter from all 5 groups?
I'm not sure it's part of his pitch, but do you want to answer that?
Yes, I can. You're assuming that I'm a man.
Thanks, that's better than I could have done. I'll cover that later with you if you want. It's a shame. There is a misrepresentation throughout all of it. But you're more than welcome to go onto the website, look at all of the people that pitched. And it was brought up by someone else, actually. It is tough. I wish there was better representation in the room as well. And I think if anyone's been to VentureFest for any length of time, they will see that that's not particularly an issue of VentureFest. It just so happens that your finalist pitches are potentially men. Okay, so that is your 5 pitches for £10,000. So if we can put the Slido back up, you're free to leave.